Guys, what's good? How's it going today? We're checking out Leonarda Joani. It is Women Are Retarded Part 2. Now, I haven't seen Part 1. She is a comedian. I've seen some of her funny stuff. But she's coming to North Carolina, I want to say this month or maybe it's next month. I hope I didn't miss it. I actually forgot about it. But anyhow, I think it's pretty sad today in America. Maybe other countries it might be normal, but here in America, she doesn't put out there where she's going. She has, because people will try to protest it. They'll try to get the bar shut down. They'll try to do this, that, and the third, wherever she's doing her venue at. But so what she does, she waits till the day of. Then she'll release it out there on where she's going, and then, you know, by that time it's too late for them to try to get together and make a protest. Let's see what she got to say about these retarded women.
Hey folks, there is an epidemic of ugly women online complaining that men are not handsome enough for them. You heard it right. Ugly women who don't know they're ugly.
Dude, that's been going on for 15 years at least.
Complaining
Back when I was growing up,
and that they are
a 4 knew her place. She knew she was a 4. A 6 knew she was a 6. But then you had those that were like a 7 that thought they were a 10. And they got, you know, it went to their head and stuff. But yeah, for the most part, back in the day, women, you know, everyone knew their role. I mean, I ain't no 10. I know that for a damn fact. But it's all about your personality, too. Can't be no stuck up. No.
well suited for. What's going on? I'll tell you what's going on. Women have been lying to each other for the last, how long has feminism been going on?
Too long.
However long that is. And it's really ramped up in the last 20 to 30 years where we've seen this body positivity. Everyone's beautiful.
You know why, right? It's because if you let them continue to be 400 pounds, you know, tell them they're beautiful, they think they are, and they just keep eating. A lot of them have ended up in a coffin now, but they also get to go buy all the pharmaceuticals, diabetic medicine, the Ozempic, everything to lose weight. It's all a money grab. That's every bit of it, because before the 80s, man, people wasn't doing that. But then in the past 20 years, pharmaceuticals have skyrocketed.
Everyone's valuable. Bullshit. So now what we have is an epidemic of level 4, 5, 6, 304s thinking that they are God's gift to men. And
not to mention all these simps.
Is totally lost on them when the internet has been reacting with absolute vitriol towards them because it seems as if they don't own a mirror. Let's start with patient 0. Now you'll notice
before she says that, they may not own a mirror, but they own, like you see, a camera.
She's Asian.
She's a 4.
That means 4 points taken off automatically on the attractive scale. I don't make up the rules. It is what it is.
She looks like she's almost cross-eyed.
If you are a boomer or a man over 65 with a retirement plan who's on his 3rd divorce, you get 4 more points for attractiveness as an Asian. I don't make the rules. It's just what it is.
Like, seriously, guys. She, okay, maybe 4 was too hard. 5, man, even drunk 6 is the highest. But she's not ugly. You're just not a 10. She's roughly a 5. I mean, that one eye is bugging me, but she's not hot enough to where she should be speaking out on people. No.
All very much aware we are living through a chopped man epidemic, and there's a
oh my god, these leftist liberals.
It's so bad to the point that, like, if I see an attractive man, it genuinely makes my day.
Genuinely?
I was walking on the sidewalk.
You talk like a gay guy. Oh my god. Like, dude, what about her is hot? Like, to where she has the nerve to get online and talk shit about men. Like, look, I don't think I'm ugly. I know I'm not a 10, but I'm also not out here saying, man, there ain't no hot women out there. Ain't nothing worthwhile. Look at all these women looking like boom. No, that's not me. No, I don't do that, and she shouldn't either. Quit it.
Earlier,
Stop
and
it.
I saw a cute guy in his car, so I waved
He was
to
gay,
him,
wasn't he?
and he smiled back at me. And obviously he drove away after that. But I was like, oh my God.
Now, if he thought you were hot, he would have done more than just smiled back. Either he was gay, has a girl, or you're not his type.
A cute guy? This
A
was at
cute
6:50
one?
p.m. It's 7:17.
Why does
I'm
the
still
time
like,
matter?
Oh my God. And I feel like this is going to empower
What?
me through my evening. Like, wow, I actually saw an attractive man today. Like, diamond in the rough, needle in the haystack. Seriously.
Dude. Does anyone agree with me? Her fucking voice just gave me a migraine, dog. Oh, all them S's and shit that you just said and talking like a valley bitch. Oh,
So as we're all very much aware.
Right.
thank you for
She
stopping
comes
that.
on here talking about a chop man epidemic looking like that. What the hell is going on? Is nobody telling these women that they're ugly and that they need to lower their standards? Do you have any
They want them to
like,
make $250,000
self-aware- I don't know what
every year,
I'm
too.
lost for words.
And
I
they
don't
want 'em
know.
to be-
Are these 304s getting like really hot dudes or something? Why do they think? Why would this one?
You know, when she says 304s at first, I was like, 304s? I was like, that's Florida area code. But no, it took me a second, and I had to go, and I thought back to my pager days. You know, back in the days when you had beepers, you just flip it upside down because there wasn't no text messaging. So the closest thing you could do is 143 was I love you, which you didn't flip that over. But you could spell love, you could spell boobies, you could spell ho. That's exactly what 304 is.
Woman think that a chopped man is not exactly the only thing that she can get.
Dude.
I'll tell you why.
If she was a 10, I'm sorry, I won't pause it like this again, but if she was a 10, I couldn't be with her for the simple fact of her voice, the way she talks. Can't do
they're
it.
hoes. Hoes are sleeping around and they're sleeping with men way above their league, and this makes them think, ooh,
I have been
I'm
that guy.
attractive enough
'Cause I've
to get
been with
this
some
man.
that I shouldn't have been with.
That means that's the only level that I'm gonna date. Now let me tell you something, sweetie. Men will sleep with a range of anything. Now,
Dude, I had a 9. Alice, she was drop dead gorgeous. Even my coworkers come up to me like, man, how did you get her? And I was like, that's a compliment, but it's backhanded as fuck. Because it's like, what do you mean? Cause, man, she was hotter than I was. We didn't necessarily look like we should have been. Man, we were together for 7 years. And I'm the one that was cheating on her. I go out to the bars and hit a foe up. Like, what? I was dumb, guys. I was young, dumb, and woo.
not all men. There are high quality, like that guy you saw in the car. Notice that he drove away. Does that tell you something? He drove away, sweetie. Do you
Yeah.
think if you were Angelina Jolie and you waved to him, he would have drove away? No. He would have pulled over and he would have asked for your number.
Angelina Jolie used to be hot.
Cut it
That's
out.
who my ex looked like.
Because you're sleeping with men way more attractive
She
than...
looked like a mix of Jennifer Love Hewitt and Angelina Jolie. She was like, dude, she's bad.
And you think that you can get that man. And what you don't understand
She didn't have
is they're
an
just
ass,
using
though.
you.
It wasn't
and
flat,
I know you grew
but
up
she
in the
didn't have a nice, big
post-feminist
ass.
era that told you that, oh, we're all equal and a man sleeping with a woman is the same as a woman sleeping with a man. And you're
It's
using
not.
him too. I know you live in La La Land, but none of that's true. None of it's true. Because men, they can bounce back from a sexual interaction and have no emotional recourse from it.
I'll
Okay?
tell
Men
y'all
can bounce
why
back
it's different.
from a sexual interaction. It can mean
I've
nothing
had
to them.
this
And I know
discussion.
that there's a lot of you out there who like, doesn't mean anything to me either. If that's where you're genuinely at, I feel sorry for you. You have broken something.
See, here's the deal. All right, me and a couple of exes, and even just friends, girlfriends, because I don't hang around dudes. I have no guy friends anymore. because I don't trust them at all, because I know what they'll do, because I'm a man and I know. But anyhow, see, I get it. A woman can, have sex with someone. Why is it different? Why is it different? I can put my thing in 500 females. I almost have. But it always comes back out the same. Always. You ever used a rubber band a lot? You know what happens? Start stretching. You ever put too much stuff in a trash bag and it gets nice and tight, and then it starts stretching and stretching and stretching. I'm not trying to get too into it with it, but eventually it's blown out. The bag's busted. It's over. There's your difference. That's the two differences between a man and a woman.
Something inside of you that is sacred in womanhood, that's about bonding.
Yeah.
And the
True.
feminists have stole this from you because they hate you and they want you to be miserable. And I know
Notice most of these feminine women, they want you to not have a man so they can hopefully get one.
you think I'm really mean, but I'm actually
She's
somebody
not
who's being
mean.
incredibly compassionate right now because I'm telling you
She's
a
trying to
truth
warn you.
that's going to help you out of your misery. So I've prepared a list to help unattractive women realize that they're unattractive. Because I realize that no one's going to tell you your face because they don't want to hurt your feelings. And usually when you tell a woman the truth, she cries and screams and throws a temper tantrum and demands that you change what you said, thinking that if she can get you to change what you said,
That
she can
changes
make it
your
untrue.
mind. It
Think about
doesn't.
it, girls. You know I'm right.
Yep.
You know I'm right. I did the same thing. My man told me I was gaining a little weight. I told him he was a faggot. It didn't change that I was a little fat. You know what did? Taking that information in and not eating donuts. So, for my chopped 304s who don't realize that they're chopped, I've prepared a list to help you. Okay? Here's some of the
It's gonna be
things that
good.
would give away that you are in fact a 5 or below. Number 1,
or below.
you work in an office. No attractive woman works in an office for longer than it takes for the CEO to start banging her and setting her up in an apartment.
True.
I'm telling you right now, if you work in an office and you've been doing it for years on years, you are at best average and most likely below
Unless a man's running the office and a woman ain't gonna damn raise you up, she's like, hell no, you staying down there.
average. Here's what happens when an attractive woman starts working in an office. All the harpies start attacking her. They attack and they attack and they attack until she's either fired, she quits, or she starts sleeping with the boss's son. Attractive women are not long for the office. Here's another sign that you are average or below average in looks as a woman. You take the bus. No attractive woman can take the bus.
I don't know.
Because she will be raped. No attractive woman will be...
Damn, put it blunt, huh? But no, I wouldn't know because everywhere I've lived, there's no buses that come by that way. I don't know anyone that rides buses. But from what I've seen, she's absolutely right. She's right.
Fuck. You will never
The
see
guys on
an
the buses.
attractive woman at a bus stop. Why? She'll either be picked up and trafficked, or she's got a man who loves her enough who'll drive her wherever she needs to go.
True.
Here's another sign that you are average
Or
or
dad.
below average. You post a picture on Instagram, and there are tons of comments telling you how beautiful you are from other ugly women. You look at those comments of those women and they say, wow, you're so beautiful. Then you look at them and you go, oh, of course you think that because you're ugly. I got bad news for you, sweetie. You guys are on the same level of attractiveness. Ugly women love to boost other ugly women.
True.
Because even though they're pretending not to know, they
It's
know
kind of
the
like
truth.
overweight people
They
that
think
it's
that
usually
if they
another
can bring
overweight
down
person.
the scale of attractiveness to the level that they're at, so everybody's on that level, then they cannot be revealed for being the hideous monsters that they actually
The
are.
linebacker
now,
that they are.
I'm not saying that you're going to want to be with some slob who lets himself go and doesn't take care of himself. That's not quite what I'm saying. But have you noticed this phenomenon? Have you noticed that you'd see a man who kind of looks like Tony Soprano with a really attractive younger woman? And you're like,
Money,
now
money,
we all
money,
know
money.
Tony Soprano he's not going to be on the firefighters calendar of the year. That's not the body women are dreaming of. But this is a pretty common trope. Why? Because that man is attractive to a woman in the ways that matter for a woman. He's got power, he's got money, he's got confidence, he's got decisiveness, all of these things that make a woman feel like I've got a protector and a good man, and I can trust for him to take care of me and our offspring out in the world because he can compete. Attractiveness, in terms of absolute objective attractiveness, isn't actually what you're saying. You might be saying these men are chopped because you're judging them.
This whole time, I thought that right there was a sun. Like, because I see the tree, so I thought it was a sun back there. My bad.
This is why men don't do so well on dating apps, right? Because you can't really assess all these things from looking at a picture. You're looking at objective attractiveness, and that's not really going to tell you whether or not that's the kind of man you're going to want to be with. It's not the same for women, because men don't change their attractiveness to a woman, really, unless she's like totally BPD or something, based on the way she's behaving. Men kind of have a more objective evaluation of a woman's attractiveness. Now, you can be totally hot, and a man can recognize that. He's not going to stop thinking you're hot just because you're BPD, but he's not going to want to date you. And if he's sane, he's really not going to want to date you. Eventually, he'll get to that point, right? But it's different with women. Men actually physically change how they look to us based on how attractive we find them as a whole. So here's another one. If you guys know Stephen Molyneux, I don't know how to say his name. He's pretty cool. I saw some of his stuff before he came back on Twitter. He's pretty cool. But he's been going to work on trying to get men and women to couple up and have babies. And I agree with him. This anti-natalism shit, it's directed on the one group it works on. Think about the only demographic that is not having babies. We all know it's not the Indians. So Stephen's trying to reach out to these people, and he said, ladies, you can't all demand top-tier men. Mathematically, it doesn't work. This is correct.
It doesn't.
And here's the thing. Ladies, you, for the majority, are not top-tier women. Mathematically, it's impossible. You understand what averages mean? You can't all be above average. You'll end up in a disposable harem and then end up very much alone.
Yep.
Everyone settles. Please learn how, because the price of solitude is unbearably high. And I am very much in agreement with Stephen on a lot of things here.
I love being single now. But I'm not looking. Dude, I've done anything and everything you can think of. Threesome, foursome, five. I mean, man, I've been there. I've done that. I've been around the block enough. I'm good. I'm good chilling by myself. Chilling.
Here.
One day.
Correct.
My fiance passed away from breast cancer.
I know you're sleeping with these hot dudes and you think this is what I should be entitled to, but that's not what's happening. That hot dude is sleeping with a lot of women. And if you are not that attractive, I can guarantee you are on the bottom of his totem pole. You are the one he calls when the other attractive women are not available.
No comment.
So you're like the fourth string on the bench, if you're lucky. Now, a lot of you want that because you have this ego and you think you're inventing this fantasy that this is the kind of man that you can actually get, and it's a fantasy. And the reason you know it's a fantasy is he's not committing to you. He's not asking you to marry him. He doesn't want to have your kids because he wants his kids to be a certain level of attractiveness, and he knows how genetics work. Now, a lot of you women do a lot of deception with filters and makeup and all this stuff, and then you end up believing your own bullshit. And he is correct. The price of solitude is unbearably high. We are social creatures. A lot of women don't feel this because you live in the cities and you got your girlfriends and you guys are hanging out and in your 20s and you're fun. Let me tell you something. When your hot girlfriends and your other smarter girlfriends start getting married and having kids, they're going to fall away.
Like, I was in serious relationships almost my whole life. And the girl that I said was a 9 that I was with for 7 years, that is when I was living with 2 of my roommates, which were men, and we used to go out to the bars, and that's how I ended up doing that. But then me and her split up. Well, then both of them got married, and both of them had kids. My other boy, he went and got married and had kids, and this is all within a 2 to 3 year span. All 3 of them gone. So I was the only one sitting there by myself. And then finally, I met my fiance. Everything was going great. I mean, the first day I met her, I felt the lump in her chest, but turned out to be cancer. We went through the years of the chemo, the radiation, everything, and then surgeries. They missed some, had to go back, and like 6 months later, she had passed away. And then I got in one last relationship that lasted 4 years, but she made it to where now I have went 100% back to don't trust nobody. And she never cheated on me, but she lied non-stop. And you know, I'm just done with that. I can't. I think she's just a habitual liar. Like, it was dumb shit. Dumb. I never understand.
And you are going to be alone. Everybody does this. I'm telling you, just watch. Families end up becoming way more important than friends, and that is the way it should be. Now,
man,
of course,
families ain't the same no more.
A wonderfully
for
chopped
me.
woman. I mean, this is actually her, right here. What men don't seem to understand is that solitude is preferable to settling for the vast majority of them.
Yep.
Please explain to me how that works. How does it work that the vast majority of men are not good enough for you? Do you realize
That's her.
how far down the totem pole you are? I don't understand what's going on with the level of delusion and entitlement. Maybe it's because your dad didn't beat you. You know, I really should call my dad and thank him. He kept my ego in check. Solitude is neutral. No, actually, it's not. It's a huge negative that negatively impacts your life. Settling for 90% of men would be net negative for a woman. So let me get...
No, I'm saying that girl can't think that she's, like, deserving of some drop dead gore. Like, yeah, just about every guy I knew, they wanted, like, Cindy Crawford or something, but not gonna get that. And these girls nowadays just don't seem to understand that.
Get this straight. 90% of men, there's only 10% of men that are available. How are 100% of women going to partner up with a man who is not a net negative, according to you, if only 10% of them are valuable? Once again, Diane, let me just say, not up there on the looks category.
Who put that picture out?
That is the
Her?
number one thing that men value. And I know you probably think you're bringing other things to the table.
What's up with her teeth?
They don't care. If they're not physically attracted to you, they do not care about what else you're bringing to the table. Get it through your head, despite what the movies tell you, where it's about
I don't care how much money the girl got.
First of all, if you're saying shit like this, your personality probably sucks. You're probably not as cool as you think you are, and you're probably really annoying, and you probably talk down to people. It's time to eat a...
Now, see, if women had to, like, say for a man, in order to get, you know, erect, got to be attracted to it. So, but a woman, like the ones that were dating like Hugh Hefner and stuff, I mean, it doesn't matter if they think he's sexy or not. They just got to lay there and be a hole. They're just a circle. That's all they got to be. A man has to actually do something. And that's where this whole level of, oh, I'll just be with her for the money. Ugh, I don't know how they do it. I've heard of guys doing it, but I don't know how. I just don't.
Eat a little bit of humble pie and recognize that probably 80% of men are out of your league. Sorry, sweetie. Sorry to give you the diagnosis. And not high on the attractiveness scale. The other thing is when you say something like settling, that indicates a hierarchy, that you are somehow up here and you're settling down here.
Because you couldn't get what you wanted.
Is a major consequence of the feminist movement that has told women that somehow they are so precious and special and magnificent and deserve the world for simply existing. This is like a brand new phenomenon, and it's destroying women. Honestly, because it makes them think that partners who would actually be good for them and be happy and they would actually be in a loving relationship with are not good for them because they don't meet these kind of crazy standards that they have no right to expect. By the way, I would say the same thing to men who are sitting out there saying 90% of women are not good enough for them, I would say the exact same thing. But men aren't doing that. Men are a lot more forgiving with women.
They are.
Women got this crazy fucking thing going on where they think their shit doesn't stink and they never do anything wrong. It's insane.
True.
Here's
True.
another sign that you are average or below average in attractiveness. You're Asian. I don't need to explain that.
I don't know. Well, I used to have the wildest crush on Asians. But now I've noticed it's more Latina because they usually have the booty to go with it. I love the skin tone. I like the olive skin tone. But there is some rough looking Asians, yeah. And the main thing I noticed over time, man, I wish I'd have got with this one when I was a damn 20. She was gorgeous. But anyhow, either they look like they're 16 or boom, they look like they're 70. It's like there's no 30-year-old Asian out there. It's either they look like they're just hit their 20s or they're hitting 80.
That one. Anyway, ladies, if the only men who ever hit on you are what you would call chopped, I got news for you, ladies.
I've never heard that
You
saying.
are on the same level as them.
I haven't heard the
The
saying
truth
chopped.
is, beautiful women know they're beautiful because people tell them all the time, in person, not just under a bunch of Instagram comments when other
And it's
ugly
not
women are
just
trying to make
other
themselves feel
females.
good about how ugly they are. No, they get it all the time, and it usually starts when they're really young. As much as I would like to really drill home to you that you, as a chopped woman, cannot have these crazy high expectations of the level of attractiveness of a man that you want to get, I also need you to understand something else. Men and women look for different things from each other.
Right.
And the problem with a lot of girls, especially in the post-feminist era, is that we have been taught that we are only as valuable as the men we perceive. We have been taught that in order to be valuable, we have to exhibit the characteristics that we value in men. This is the great irony of feminism. It purports to empower women, but all it does is constantly demean and put down those very qualities that are essential to womanhood. Beauty, kindness, compassion, vulnerability. You're not supposed to have any of these. You're supposed to be a boss bitch who walks into the office and takes over and tells the men what's up
And runs it in the
takes
ground.
control and has sex with whoever she wants because she's a boss bitch. Ladies, those are all the qualities that you find attractive in men. And there
it's
is
also
a biological,
worn out.
evolutionary reason for this. At the same time, these qualities are not attractive to men unless they're beta soy boys who are
There you
going
go.
to want you to pay for at least half of everything. And I know you're a modern woman. I value my money. The truth is
you value yours,
that when
but he
a
don't?
man does not pay for you, that means he doesn't value you. He sees no reason to give up any of his resources in providing for you. And you know it deep in your core, so you never really respect or love that man. That's just the way it is. We can try to change nature, but nature has thousands and thousands of years on us. This is why transgender ideology will fail. It doesn't matter how many times you affirm that a 6'3", 230-pound man with a beard and a dress on is a woman. Nature is going to say, that's a man.
That, and if you just put all gay men in one state, that state will only last at max 100 years, and that thing's going to be empty. You know why? Because you can't reproduce. Got to be opposite sexes. There's only one female and one male in the situation. Or, you know what I mean. I'm saying there is no, I'm a dog, I'm a bird. And I think anyone that says they're, I'm a cat, I'm a dog. All right, well, you can't drive, you can't go into the stores, you can't do this, you can't do that, can't buy this, can't buy that. You can't do none of this stuff because a dog can't. Every word that comes out of your mouth, we don't understand it. Might as well. Yeah, there you go.
The things that women value in men are very different than the things that men value in women. Men value physical attractiveness. This is why you're getting confused and thinking that you need to have a physically attractive mate as well. And I'm going to explain to you why this actually isn't a top priority for women, truly speaking. Second thing men value, they value a kind of softness and a nurturing
I was going to say that earlier.
comes with women.
Women are more
They've got to be
smooth,
out in the
soft,
harsh world
squishy.
every day,
Men
fighting,
are more rugged,
competing
rough,
for resources, trying to really bring something home for the woman and the child.
Yep.
The last thing he wants is to
Come
walk
home
through
to
that
another
door
man.
and have another battle. Yeah, I got a boss bitch at home. I love it. Said no.
Be like, I get to deal with my boss here all day long, get bitched at, can't go to smoke a cigarette when I want to smoke, and then I get to go home and deal with another headache.
No real man ever. And the beta soy boys that you guys have, you're just beating them and disrespecting them until you have absolutely nothing left for them. And then you start sleeping with the mailman and you wonder why you have a half black child. Men value
That
a kind of sweetness and a
You wonder why there's so
nurturing
many soy
and an
boys.
agreeableness and a compassion that women naturally have. Despite the last 70 years of feminism trying to beat it out of us, we can't fight it. Think about how you react when you see a little baby, huh? You get all like, oh, it's the baby. Oh my God, the baby. Think about how you react.
If all women had to go to war but be in their own group, they wouldn't do it.
That's your womanness, okay? If a man started acting like that, you'd be like, are you gay? So, I got news for you ladies. You're building up all the wrong things thinking you're going to attract a top tier mate. And then you see a hot bitch walk into a bar and all the men's head turn and they're not like,
and then you
oh,
get
I bet
all
she's
upset
the CEO
because
of a
like,
company.
what are you looking
No,
at?
They don't care.
You want that?
She
Go
could be
get
a
it.
McDonald's
You can have
burger
it.
waitress and they would still want her because unless a man is trying
used
to
to be
use
with a
you
Burger
for your
chick,
money,
Burger
which is a
King.
big red flag, he
Brooke.
doesn't care about what you do for a living. In fact,
And her
you
sister.
doing some major career thing is actually going to be a hindrance to the goals he has because
Micah.
first of all, he wants to be the provider. That is the truth. He sees that as his role and his duty. And if you take that away from him, you emasculate him.
Yeah, you just castrated
I'm not
him, basically.
saying you should limit your abilities because a man might get intimidated about it. That's not what I'm saying. A true man is not going to be thinking about what career you have.
Yeah, I don't
because
care
he
how
is
much money you make.
Really factoring, ever relying on your income for his well-being. Unless
Because, you know, if you get a split up, especially back in the day, they get divorces, who has to pay? Kids go where? So who has to pay? At all times, who is in control of the man's life? Yes, that's how it is. And I mean, everyone's in control of your own life, but women can be like, yeah, I'm going to leave him and I'm going to take half his shit and his house. It's like, what? You didn't pay for the house. You didn't even know me when I bought this house. Seriously.
there's something psychologically wrong with him. In which case, you want to run away as fast as possible. Doing all these things that you do, that you're advertising to men. Oh, look, I have all these qualities that I like in you. It's not going to succeed in accomplishing what you want. And this is why attractiveness for women when it comes to men is very subjective. I want you to think about this, ladies. Really think about this. Have you ever been dating a man and in the beginning, you know, we like to project onto a man all the things that we're going to want from him and think that he is. And as you're doing this, as you're starting to like the man more and more, he actually starts to look more physically attractive to you. This is a real phenomenon. It's almost like his face starts to change into a more attractive mate. Our hormones do a real funny thing to us. And then something happens. There's a break in the fantasy. There's a real life situation. This man
Now you
fails
can't
to step
stand to
up as
look
a man.
at him.
It could be anything, right? It could be, you might be dating somebody, you're walking down the street and a vagabond starts coming to you, and instead of him stepping in front and pulling you out and protecting you, he kind of just runs away and leaves you there. This would be a real
take care of
break
that.
for most women who are in touch with reality. Now,
Shit, that ain't
after something
happening.
like that happens, right? You might look at this man again and all of a sudden start
Be
to
like,
notice
you got
that
bitch
he
tendencies.
looks uglier than you remembered. What could be happening here? Your hormones are changing to decrease your level of attractiveness to someone that you realize
I got
is
an
not
interesting
a good
story I can
mate.
tell you guys.
Physical attractiveness to a serious extent is not actually a number one factor in what makes women go, ooh, I.
Okay, guys, or girls, you tell me what you do. This chick, I mean, she was hot. Angelina. All right, so she had a guy that she dated before she had met me at that time. Anyways, they ended up, doing what couples do. But he ended up letting her put a strap-on on. And she got to do that to him. She said from that exact point and on, he was nothing but a straight B in her eyes. That's it. She said she wasn't attracted to him. She didn't want nothing to do with it. Because she had him bent over and she did her thing. But she said from that point on, she never looked at him the same ever again. Is that true? Would you do the same? That's crazy as hell. But I can totally see it, and I see why.
I want that. And a lot of you girls are wasting your most important time having fun. These are things I wish I'd known when I was in my 20s, because I was in the peak of the insanity that was telling women not to get married, to go out and have their fun, sow their wild oats. They wanted us to be like men, and even this illusion of what men were like was false. And it's a complete waste of your time. You have nothing from those years. You can't hold all the fun you have in your 20s, the parties, the clubbing, the guys you're sleeping with. It's like trying to hold sand in a closed fist. Try to grab as much sand as you can in a closed fist, and when you open your hand, you might have a few grains left. That's what that's like. And the sand is your time. This is what it is. Your 20s are for finding the right person to form a good, stable relationship with whom you can build a family. That's the truth. But because we live in a death cult, you believe that having children is somehow a net negative. Like we're supposed to be doing something else that's greater than having children. I don't know what that would be, to be honest. Have you seen babies? They're awesome. But they want to program us against our nature.
They drive me up the wall.
We've got this
But
Call You
that's how
Daddy,
I was raised.
podcast, which is like the #1 podcast for women, I believe. She's literally insane, and she's teaching women something that is going to lead to severe unhappiness and destruction. So I'd like to take it down.
When you're younger in your 20s, like who the fuck wants to get married and settle
why
down?
is she
Some
talking?
people, but not me at that point.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to feel the thrill.
Yeah.
I want to be getting my head bashed into the mattress. I want to be getting flipped upside down, and then I want to be getting ghosted the next day. I want to have my heart ripped out of my chest,
Wow.
and I want to do it all over again, and then some. And then when you get a little older,
yeah,
you're
I've
kind of
done
like,
it.
I literally don't have time. When you're younger in your 20s, like who the fuck wants
You don't have time for what? And why don't you have time?
Because her head's in the damn
So there you go.
mattress.
She's even saying it right there. Who wants to wake up at 30 and go, oh shit, I don't have time. I wasted 10 years. Who wants to do that?
There
Do
you
you
go.
want to do that, ladies? Really think about it. Is that what you want? Do you want to wake up at 30 and go, oh shit, I don't have time. I better squeeze it in.
Yeah,
Better get
now that
someone.
you're-
Let me tell you when you're going to settle. Right then. Right then.
Yep. That's
Okay?
100% true.
So, this is actually a myth, this idea that people don't want to get married in their 20s. This is a lie. This is something they lie to women. All women, deep inside their hearts, deep inside their little soft, girly hearts where they loved unicorns and rainbows, in there is the idea that one day they're going to meet a wonderful prince who they'll fall in love with and have kids with and have a nice little happy life. That's in there, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, okay?
And that's the show that Kamala Harris went on to. Telling you, the Democrat Party is a fucking train wreck of a joke. I mean, it's trash. And what would make you go on a podcast that, well, I guess transsexuals, I guess that's why, call her daddy. One, I'm never calling no female daddy. For Kamala Harris, someone that has destroyed the country and still in power at that time, trying to get re-elected, and this time as the president, and you're going to go on the Call Her Daddy show. That'll get them.
Okay, feminists are telling you have to be a cold-hearted bitch who just wants to make it in business. This is a lie, and you're going to be unhappy. Okay?
She looks unhappy.
Think about it. Think about
She
here is
looks
the options for your future. You
stupid.
can be a 50-year-old top bitch CEO flying all over the world, running this corporation, having millions of dollars in the account, but you're alone, you got no kids, you got no husband, and now you're old.
Until the man
Or
marries you
you
and
can be a
takes half when he
50-year-old
leaves.
Mom, maybe you got a grandkid on the way. You never had a multi-million-dollar company. Maybe you did some fun stuff with your creativity and some work. But you got
Probably
wonderful
slept your way to
children
get there.
who love you, a happy home, a wonderful, loving husband, and you get to go out in your garden. Which one are you picking? Which one? Be honest. Don't lie. Don't lie. Most of you, if you're sane, you're never going to pick this because this is death. This is death, misery, depression, and destruction. You don't want it. You got to see what they're selling you and take it to the end. So here she is saying stupid shit, right? I want to feel the thrill. The thrill of what exactly? There really is nothing in casual sex for women.
Dudes.
I'm so sorry to break it to you ladies, but
I
there's
was that
nothing in
random
it.
guy many a
There's
times.
absolutely nothing in it, okay? When you hook up with a
But
guy
those girls ain't
who's
worth
not
shit.
invested in you, he's not really caring about your experience during the process.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now.
Like, see, there was some of the girls that I slept with that was a one-night stand, or it may not even have been a one-night stand. We might have slept together a couple of times. But I was interested in getting to find them out. But then there was some that was just straight up. I knew what I was going to do. I'm deucing out. I'm gone. In the wind. And next guy's problem. And he going to do the same thing. And then before you know it, like you said, going to be 30 sitting there by yourself whistling.
Right now, okay? And cold, empty sex is really meaningless, and you have nothing. You actually have less because now you've given something away that's supposed to be valuable.
Yeah, it
so
used
now
to
it becomes
mean
less
something.
valuable for you.
The more you do it.
And less valuable for your partner.
Yeah, the more you do it, with the more people you do it with, not the more you do it. The more people you do it with, it's going to mean it's that much easier when you stop. Like if they leave, it doesn't hurt you, it doesn't bother you because guess what? You've done it 50 times before then, so you've gotten to yourself to the point where it doesn't even matter no more.
Sorry, I know you don't like these facts
Getting
because
blown
they seem
out.
like they're old and outdated, but there's a reason these have been truths for thousands of years. I literally wish somebody would have told me this. In fact, actually, I think they did tell me. I literally wish I wasn't retarded and brainwashed and listening to the mainstream that wanted to destroy and corrupt my soul. I'm trying to do
True.
the best I can.
Back
by
then, we
spreading
didn't
the
know how
message
bad the
to
media was
youth
lying.
So they don't ruin themselves because this hoe over here who makes millions of dollars
I don't know why.
telling you to take the path of destruction is
Because
cute right now
she's still
and
single.
preaching something that will lead to misery. I want to get my head bashed in the mattress. This is what happens when girls watch porn.
That, and getting your head bashed into the mattress can very well end up making you have kids with somebody that you don't know, or the kid won't know because the dad is gone because she was busy getting her head bashed into the mattress. Because if she's one of them wild ones, she could get a different guy every night. She can get five dudes a day. Just swap them out. She don't know who the baby daddy is. And I could totally see her being one
treated
of
as an
them.
object, which is so ironic because the feminists love to talk about, I don't want to be treated as an object, but then the biggest
want to get
source
treated
of
like an
empowerment
object.
is making yourself an object. Congratulations, you're retarded. I want to be getting flipped upside down, she says, and then I want to be getting ghosted. Really? You want to get ghosted? That's something women want. You see,
She's
this is
not
how you know
attractive,
she's a
though.
liar. Stop listening to these women.
She's already
This
got
is
her
how you know
wrinkles
she's a
coming in on her
liar.
face.
Stop listening
Big
to these
ass
women.
teeth.
They're selling
And
you
that
bullshit.
stupid hat. I think the
and
hat's
they're
making it
packaging
worse.
in a nice gold wrapper and saying, don't you want this bullshit? Don't buy it.
I think the hat is making her look uglier than maybe she is. But the glasses, that smile, there's something, it just looks dumb. Maybe it's that she thinks she's a fucking 10. And maybe that's what it is. Something is making her look ugly to me.
And then she wants to get her
She looks
heart ripped
smug
out
as
of
fuck.
my chest, and I want to do it all over again. I guarantee you, if you talk to any woman who's in her 30s or 40s who bought this lie and did this
Getting
bullshit,
your heart ripped out is
and
never
if you said
fun.
to her, hey, if you had the chance to go back before all this, would you do everything that you did again?
Of course I would.
If she's honest, she's going to say no because she knows the
Exactly.
truth. There's nothing in it but regret and remorse and
pain.
disgust.
Because
actually.
when you
Total
get your heart
disgust.
broke and ripped
we have another
out-
clip from this
The
304. I really like that 304. It's a nice way to say
He was
whore.
pissed. My boyfriend has a very big issue with my past.
She looks
He
better
found my
there.
list of people I have been with, and he was pissed. He actually broke up with me initially, but after a while, we got back together. The issue now is, I feel like he is
I guarantee you, they're not together now, or they won't be in the future. For the simple fact, if her list was to the point that made you break up, and I went through this because the girl I was talking to found out I'd been with like 300 chicks, and I explained to her there was only one that I had cheated on, but every other time I was single. I could be with 1,000. If I'm not cheating on my girl, then there's nothing wrong with that. But in her head, she was thinking she wouldn't be able to trust me. We never fully dated like together because one, she was an alcoholic. I found that out. But no, it was bothering her too much. I mean, she enjoyed being with me, but she kept thinking that I was going to cheat on her. I'm like, I got where I'm at while I was single. But I've never had any other girl have any issue with it. None. Ever. As long as you're not a liar. But anyway, the guy that broke up with the chick, guarantee you, since he's obviously got back with her, that is still an issue for him. Just like that's why I hung it up with that one girl that, had an issue with it. Because why try to be together? She had called me and wanted to get back together. I'm like, look, it's already an issue for you now and we're not together. So if we do date, it's going to be an issue. I'm not having someone all up in my shit. I'm not doing that. And I'm not getting in arguments because you think I'm cheating when I had to work 20 minutes late or something like that. But I guarantee you that relationship that she's talking about right here, they're going to be done.
constantly making judgmental comments about me being easy or having a high body count. He always says he's just kidding, but how can I get him to stop caring that I was with guys before him? I feel like every single girl has a list of the guys she's ever been with. Like,
my God. No,
we don't.
They don't.
Nope.
I can tell you that now.
We don't. I feel like every girl is a whore like I am and has no remorse. It doesn't care that she's literally destroying herself and is leading other women.
I did make a list once back in 2001. I got it up to 78 at that point. And then, shit, I was young as fuck then. Then I went wild. And I regret a lot of it. I shouldn't have done that. There's a lot of I shouldn't have done that. I wish I would have done it differently. Like, I don't beat myself up over it, but, I wish I could have done things differently or listened to my actual thoughts. Because there were sometimes I didn't even want to go do nothing with it. I just did it just to do it. And, live and learn. I won't ever do it again. Nowadays, it is way too risky. So, if you're a younger dude or female, watch yourself. If you're going to do it, you gotta use protection. It is way too easy to get smoked out there. For real.
Into distraction. Because at least if other girls do what I did, then it can't have been wrong,
Because she hates
right?
herself.
We can't all go to hell together, can we? Yeah, you can. Hell's a big place.
How fun. I remember the men that have been inside of me, and I have a
No, you
husband.
don't.
And that's okay. This sounds like a really
No,
insecure or
not
possessive
all the men,
man.
you don't.
Honestly, that's
If
a
you have,
disgusting statement.
then you ain't been with
That
many.
is a disgusting statement.
It is.
Gross.
And
Absolutely
my
gross.
husband.
You are married to a man
So
who
your
doesn't
man's a
respect
beta.
himself, or is a beta, or has also been
Thank you.
brainwashed.
Thank you.
Gross.
Same level.
Gross.
Great
and now
minds
she's gonna
think
pivot
alike.
and talk about
Beta
this
motherfucker.
is so narcissistic. Not liking the fact that his woman had let a bunch of men have her suddenly means that he's the problem. It can't possibly be that the woman made mistakes and did things she wasn't supposed to do that now have made her man feel less than or not good about himself, and that's her problem. Women can't possibly ever do anything wrong. If you do
She looks so
something
dumb.
that your husband doesn't like, it's because he's insecure. It's not because what you did was wrong and
All right, guys. That is the end of this one. Please let me know what you would like for me to react to, and I will hop right on it. I hope y'all all have a blessed day, a wonderful night, whatever it may be. I will see you on the next one.